Hi everyone. Man, this camera's bright. It's actually the lights that are bright. Today I want to talk to you about something that is really, really deep-seated in my heart, is the reason why we help others. What motivates us to help others? I have a few notes here that I'm going to be reading from or picking up an outline from so that I don't get lost. Because it's the reason why we help others is it really needs a deep evaluation, because selfless and unconditional helping is very tasking and demands enormous sacrifices, meaning that Jesus was very good at helping others and sacrificing up to his own life for helping others. But I'm not Jesus and neither are you, so our motives probably are a little bit more selfish than we would like to admit. And on top of things, are we really sure that someone who is not asking for help needs to be helped, would like to be helped? And if we're helping them anyway, without their expressed out in the open request for help, are we actually doing them good, or are we doing them a disservice? Because falling is easier than climbing, and it's easier to help somebody because it makes us feel good instead of helping someone because we know that we're doing them good. We don't want to feel guilty about abandoning anyone in need of help. First of all, Carl Rogers said very clearly once that someone asking for help is not sufficient reason enough to establish that it's sufficient. Again, because the person needs to show, needs to demonstrate their wish for improvement. They have to ask for help and they have to wish to improve. Maybe we want to save our neighbors because we're strong and generous and have noble principles, but maybe do we prefer to just show how magnanimous and we're not good just because chance allowed us to show our goodness, compassion, and goodwill? Let's think about that. I'm not always sure that I selflessly help others for the sake of helping others, instead of doing it because it makes me feel good, makes me feel at peace with myself. And that's something that I always end up asking myself. Why do we do what we do? In this case, why do we help others? And it's not as straightforward as it seems. In a way, I feel that the more I compare myself, my virtuous self, to your drawbacks, the better I feel, the better I look. It's easier. It's a path of least resistance. But I think that level of selflessness is best left to the saints. Maybe comparing ourselves to some derelict that we're trying to help really isn't of any assistance to anyone. It just makes us feel better. Makes us seem like we shine more than we actually do. As a matter of fact, maybe we just emit a feeble candlelight. But since we compare it to somebody who's darker than dark, we shine like stars, but we're no stars. We feel like we are improving your life, but both you and I know that improvement would probably require far, far more efforts on my side and on yours. It's like we're pretending. It's like a game of pretend. You pretend you're trying your best to get better, and I pretend I'm being as altruistic as I can to help you. But both of us know that we're lying. And maybe we ought to admit it. Why? Because it's a lot more simple to pretend on my side and yours, to pretend that we're doing all we can to make it better, to do our utmost best to help solve your situation. But we do that because we know that it's a lot easier to pretend we're doing our best than actually doing it, because helping someone is a very tricky road. The helper is always afraid of overstepping, of making things worse, where the helped, if he's a manipulative individual, will always play the card of weakness, will always infer that you might be making it worse, and will definitely play your guilt. Let's keep that in mind. And then we should ask, do I really have the tools to help that someone who might not have asked to be helped? If we help somebody that has a situation that we are not able to help with, and we do it anyway because we don't know that we're not able to help, are we doing the person a disservice? Does he have issues that are beyond our abilities of helping? And the strongest feeling that I want to express regarding helping others is related to the fact that the moment we try to soothe them by mentioning environment, other people, trauma, we are actually doing them a huge disservice. Why is that? Because if we take away the fact by helping them blame others, we are taking away their power. Because if we establish that they had no fault and no power in getting into the situation that hurts them a lot, we are also implying that they have no power to raise themselves out of the situation that they're in. Not now, not ever. So don't ever dismiss a person's power to get out of the situation by inferring that they had no fault and no power of getting themselves in the situation, because we would really do them the greatest of disservices. I'm not saying blame them for the trauma that they had to endure, because that's obviously not what we're here for. But at the same time, we are best not to mention you are in this situation for no fault of your own. Say nothing. Because if you say that, then you are rendering them powerless. And if they were powerless in getting into the situation, you're mentioning that they are powerless in getting out. And if somebody feels that they are in a corner with no way out, that's the way you'll break them. If they weren't able to decide for their past, you are inferring that they're not going to be able to decide for their future, which is completely false, because they have all the power in the world to get themselves out of the situation they're in. You just have to help them realize that happiness is an inside job. This is like the phrase of how I structure my help strategy. Happiness is an inside job. One sentence that I think we should keep in mind often, and I'll read it to avoid getting it wrong. Success is a mystery until we identify that failing is just a few bad habits coupled with a pair of poor decisions, whilst we let time go by. That is what failure is. We made a few mistakes, we made a few bad choices, and we keep time go by. We let time go by as these things settle in, sediment, and bad goes to worse. Situations degenerate, but it is human weakness that gives the knockout blow. Meaning, don't make it worse for yourself, because if you fall in a ditch, I may be able to help you, but if you keep digging a 20-foot trench, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to get you out of there than the initial ditch you fell into. Again, back to Rogers, there's no redemption without a will for improvement. And then going back to the egotism of the helper. Even if I know it's a lost cause, will I stop helping you? No, because I don't want to look bad. And in case of a paid professional, no, because I'll force myself to believe you can still be helped, because I want to make money long term. And on top of things, believing that I'm doing all this good without actually having to, on your part, work hard, and on my part, put all the effort in, is that it's a hell of a lot harder to do the work and put the work in than it is to pretend like we both of us are doing our best. My take on how we should really help others. And we've established that the why is a very personal matter. So the reason why we help is too varied to be discussed in a short video. But the way I can help you is allow you to help me. Because it puts me at the same level as you. It removes any of the envy that the person hurting might have towards the person that he feels isn't as hurt as he is. Puts us on the same level. It removes social envy. It removes envy of success and the self-loathing that a person might have for not being as successful as you. So if you show your belly, your weak belly, if you want to help someone, give them the opportunity to help you. The moment you ask for help, you're giving a man a hope of making it too. Because you're seeing as the helper, but you're also showing your weak belly. You have become human. And you validate him. You value his help. You give him confidence. And most of all, you validate him or her as a person. Don't judge and refrain from superficial pity, because that's all it is. It's just a coping mechanism, and you're better than that. So regardless of the motives behind helping or not helping someone, please keep in mind why you're doing it, because it makes a world of difference. Thanks. Cheers. Take care.